I had a conversation with a relative of mine earlier today, and they are the worst sort of naysayer. Um, the kind that's pragmatic. They were just giving me we were just talking about life, whatever, and they sort of gave me a kind of questioning what I'm doing right now, with this whole sabbatical, with taking time off, with me kind of pursuing the goal, of getting my books published and all that. And they were just absolutely being like the biggest naysayer. The just every single critique, every single sort of comment about kind of giving up on this and all that. And the reason why I'm bringing this up is most most people are never going to understand what it is like to be completely dialed into something. Just it's a very much just a statement of life. There's no I don't begrudge anyone that chooses to live, I guess, more of the conventional life, more of the sort of conventional path, nor do I begrudge anyone that decides to go and sort of chase a dream in a sense. But just from a very statistical standpoint, most people are not going to understand what it is like to be dialed in. Most people do not pursue these sort of lofty goals, these sort of lofty dreams. And it's understanding that from a very practical sense is going to be a sort of shield against criticism. It's going to be the thing that separates you from that lingering doubt that other people try to put into you. Oftentimes, this doubt is very much, from the perspective of trying to help. I mentioned the person I was talking to today. They're very pragmatic. It's simply a dollars and cents thing for them. It's a very utilitarian sort of thing. Their reasons for that, for what they're saying, was just very much trying to look out for what they think is my best interest. But the problem is not just that they don't understand how committed I am to what I'm doing. It's that just in life in general, nobody ever tells you the thing that you should do. It's I ended up taking a 6 month sabbatical. No one told me that. No one had suggested to me, hey, take 6 months off from writing to go do this. There was no parent that told me this, no relative, no family member. I mean, nobody close to me at all ever suggested take a 6 month break hiatus from life, basically a 6 month hiatus from the working world, and build up your skill. That was something that it took a good amount of introspection, and I guess to a degree, if you want to call it self-discovery, whatever you want to call it, of just figuring out what I wanted to do, how I could get myself a bit closer to that goal, and then what it takes. And for me, that was simply, all right, the only thing I really want to do with my life is write books. That's pretty much all I really ever want to do. Okay, so what do you need? Well, let's see. We need to build up a bit more skill. You need, the more skill you can get, the better. All right, well, skill's basically just an amalgamation of really time itself. So I need more time to write. All right, well, let's see if we can pull off. Let's see if we can start saving up and find a way. Maybe in the next year or two, you can take 6 months off from work to write, and it worked. I basically pulled it off. But this is not, it's not a kind of humble brag at all. This is just simply me kind of pointing out that the big decisions in life, no one is ever going to tell you what to do. There's no figure at all that can ever hold your hand and guide you and tell you it. I mean, people can offer their best advice, but no one's ever gonna give that sort of suggestion. It's just not in the common the common way people discuss things in life. It's not the practical way people go about life. And so, if you are someone that's going to be dialed in, if you are someone that is extremely committed to achieving something, I mean, it's you need to expect that sort of critique. It's going to come. It's going to. I guess it's going to just come with the territory. It's an unavoidable aspect of pursuing something you care about. I have found the best way to handle it is just understand where someone's coming from, and if someone's practical suggestions resonate with you, if you hear that and you think, geez, maybe I should, there's a part of me that says, all right, then do what they say, kind of give up basically, because you have to be 100% committed to doing something regardless of the outcome. There can't be any real room for like any serious self-doubt. And so if what someone says strikes you and you go, maybe I shouldn't, I don't know, or maybe I should turn back on this path that I'm on, my general suggestion would be to do that, would be to turn back, because it's the road is a lot longer than you think. I've been doing this, even though I sort of took a little bit of a hiatus basically from writing last year. I've been at this, writing for the most part, most days of the week. I mean, before this, even it was like the on and off little sprints. I mean, 7 years I've been at this pretty much almost every day doing this. I mean, again, there were definitely periods of spurts where I was missing work and all that stuff, so it doesn't really work out to that. If I took the totality, maybe the 7 years that I've wrote, maybe 5 of those years were years that I was actually 5 years in total that I actually spent every day writing. So 60, 80, 70, 80% of it I was writing. And it's still gonna take long. It's still gonna take a long time. I can already foresee that it's gonna take longer than I estimated it was going to. And so if in many ways it is the smart thing to do is to kind of turn back early. But if you are in that mindset of potentially looking to turn back, the one thing that might help you is to understand that the reward is not often going to come, and that your experience during the time pursuing what you enjoy is the reward. It is the primary reward. Most Olympic athletes, for example, live basically in squalor. I mean, yeah, they have, maybe have like an apartment or something, they have an apartment, but they probably have a roommate or a spouse that sort of pays the bills while they pursue their Olympic dreams. I mean, unless you're at the very top, like the top, like echelon, where you can get a big sort of sponsorship, you can get, a broadcasting deal, you with social media nowadays, you can become like a fitness influencer as well and do little postings and all that stuff. But if you're an Olympic athlete, you're not making any money at all. Like, there's very, very little money in that. I mean, you'd be surprised to see how many top athletes that win gold medals that live in just horrendous, I wouldn't say horrendous, but like just live in these very subpar conditions. These, and yet they love it, and yet they wouldn't turn back. They wouldn't. They would not. They're not turning away from it. They're going forward, because just the pursuit of what they love, to the chance to be the best, to go after that is better than living a better conditioned life but having regrets towards the end of your life, where you say, yeah, I was an accountant and I made a ton of money, I was a financial broker, made a ton of money, but man, I could have been this great skier. I think I really could have been this awesome skier. But yeah, I whatever, I decided to go for the money instead and live in this nice house and luxury and all that stuff. It impresses me how well someone in their teens and early adulthood can actually make that choice and can understand that they would rather live the squalor over the financially, beneficial life, because they realize that at the very end of their life, they are going to regret not having gone after that goal more than they're going to regret not having had the nicest of cars, the nicest of houses, or gone on the fanciest of vacations. And man, I mean, whenever I see that, whenever I see people that can make those decisions at a very young age, I'm always impressed. I mean, it took me till I was in probably my early to mid 20s when I really got committed and was like, okay, yeah, we're gonna do this. This is gonna be our life going forward here. And you know, it's and so I guess what I'm trying to say is it's not romantic. It's not, chasing a dream is not necessarily this very romantic sort of thing. Other people may view it that way. Some people may look at you and think, yeah, that's so cool. He's going to what he loves. But the reality of it is it's not romantic at all. It simply is just an acceptance of I'd rather be happy doing this one thing that only really brings me happiness than being secure and enjoying the mediocre interests of other things in life that don't hold my attention.